But yeah, it might just be all about this top lane for Top Esports versus KC. KC up against the ropes. They need to beat probably both Top Esports and Homolife Esports. And even then, it might be difficult based on the tiebreakers we might get.
Yes, it will be. And as for the top lane, that isn't going to be any easy feat either. Because yesterday, 369 was really, really powerful. The Rumble and the Aatrox, some pretty big performances from him. Kanavi as well played so much better yesterday than he did versus HLE. So Top Esports really do seem to be much more locked in than the opener. So see about how they get into this matchup.
Yeah. And there's a reason why Top Esports didn't really look locked in. I'd say their top side of the map was really struggling. They were trying to force a lot of stuff against Homolife Esports. And as we know, Homolife, very strong team. I think Azale did a great job of explaining exactly how large the gap might be, although, you know, certainly it was just one best of 3. We'll see what happens when it does get into best of 5s. Top Esports might have a nice little turnaround. As you mentioned, they have looked better recently. As we hop into draft here, gonna target the Maokai and the Azir for now.
I like this already from TES because I was going to recommend KC put Yike on either Sejuani or Maokai. So TES already trying to whittle down on some of those tank picks for him and see if they can punish the jungle as well.
Yeah, they're doing that. The Sejuani's still available. Notably, no Skarner and no Kalista bans from the red side here for Karmine Corp. So they say, okay, we're coming into this one, it's do or die. Let's take a little bit of a chance here. You know, Skarner, yes, he did get nerfed, but Kalista still very strong, still extremely strong, and pretty much kind of breaks the current meta, and that's why she's pretty much permaban. Hasn't been so far here at first stands. We have seen her a couple of times, but it's still an extremely strong pick.
Yeah, and what Top Esports themselves did when they gave up the Kalista was then pick the Varus and Nico into it, the heavy poke lane. And so we'll see the Ashe already picked up here for the kind of classic counter into Kalista. And they could also go another range poke champion, really try and do like a similar thing that Top Esports did. Of course, there were some updates to Kalista, so they made the Ashe counter a little bit less painful because they basically like halved the effect of attack speed slows on the hindrance for your hop, and they raised the baseline bottom for your hop, your martial cadence. For Kalista, so it is still a counter. It's not as painful as it used to be, and if you have Renata by your side, that's always a match made in heaven.
Yeah, Kalista Renata, Kalista Nico is the other one that you very nicely pointed out that was taken away. And they decide they want the Renata here. They see the Skarner, definitely a very good pick into that. We see oftentimes a lot of heavy dive go along with Ashe and Skarner, so I feel like Renata is the better pick here. Ambessa going to be prioritized for the top lane for 369. Still a lot available on the top side. You know, the Jayce, the Cassante, stuff like this still available. And we'll see if KC wants to pick one of those for Canna right here.
Yeah, let's see. Does he want some sort of bully lane into it? Some powerful 1v1? Certainly has been the direction. He has really preferred this Jayce in a lot of them, and he has been able to get some leads with the Jayce, but they haven't been able to win the actual games due to being too far behind pretty much everywhere else on the map.
Yeah, I think the Jayce is fine, should have a nice lane, should be able to provide a lot in terms of burst damage, follow up on the Skarner. But we'll see what the rest of this comp looks like. The Jayce could also potentially be flexed into mid. I don't know that there's any real reason to do that, but just thought I'd throw it out there. Definitely want that up in the top lane against the Ambessa. Sejuani gonna be taken away from Kanavi as the Seraphine banned away from Targamas.
Interesting. There were some very slight Seraphine buffs for damages on the previous patch, but taking away some of that other annoying poke damage and also sustain. Let's see. Further whittling down on the jungle pool, quite possibly here. Take another shot at Kanavi and the Nocturne. Nice one there. A dive partner for the Ambessa. Definitely a good ban.
Yeah, Kanavi did have a bit of a rough one, to say the least, on the Nocturne, but
yeah,
that was a different situation.
Questionable tower dive and gank bot, yeah.
It was a different team, it was a different comp, you know. I think the ban is still good, and Kanavi can kind of forget that game ever happened and move on. The Victor ban up against Vladi, definitely a good one.
Yep, this most picked. Most picked champ off the board, so let's see, what shall we go with here? Support, I will assume, and they can continue to hide Vladi's pick.
Okay. Took quite a while there. They went right down to the end of the timer, and it's Karma.
Yeah, it's an arms race in the bottom lane. Again, I'm assuming this is Karma support here with the Ashe for the big poke, you know, big damage early on in the lane down on the bottom side.
We would hope so. I don't necessarily want to see another swap. I don't think there's any reason, just like there didn't seem to be a good reason in the last series. Aurora going to be the follow-up here, so very low range on the side of top esports, but it's all going in the same direction at least.
Yeah, they need a point person for their dive at the moment because they have two solo laners that are pretty good at dive. They've got an AD carry that's pretty short range and likes to follow up on these dives. And Renata bailout as well, but they really need... interesting. Viego, I mean, single target stun and does work well off of resets, so bailout plus Viego can sometimes create some interesting situations and some big resets and painful moments. So we'll see if they can get that one done. Viego also into Skarner, quite nice there. So Taliyah, the final lock in there though for Vladi. Let's see if KC can turn it around here, because they certainly have to right now, or else the tournament is quickly out of their control.
Yeah, I mean, top esports, they can be pretty volatile with their play. We saw that they weren't showing their best against Life Esports. Then they showed, I think, some of their best up against TL. What would they look like here against Karmine Corp is definitely a big question. I feel like this comp, you know, the Viego definitely an interesting choice. There weren't a lot of great picks available. There was so much focus on the jungle, so he went for that. And we'll see if it's enough. I mean, as you mentioned, there's a lot of reset potential, a lot of just annoying kind of champs that will be diving all around you and hopping around. The Viego, the Kalista, obvious ones. We'll see if they can handle that in this first game.
Tension building here in the arena.
Yeah. She wanted the Kanavi carry, as he wants the...
He did that yesterday, for sure.
Yeah. This is showing off against, again, the really cool front page cover of Caliste. As we'll see if he can carry this time around, Kobe, because they might need him in this one, as he is going up against the one and only JackeyLove, as we're getting ready for this game number 1 of this best of 3. You get some nice cheers out there in the crowd. Yeah,
that was pretty powerful, honestly. All right, let's see about the level 1 here. Looking towards Raptor Ward first.
Gonna delay the back just a little bit. It is, of course, Grasp in the top lanes. All kind of makes sense. Nothing really surprising in terms of the runes, from what I can tell. And so should be pretty standard from here, as we're looking at the global power rankings powered by AWS. You can see it's number 5 for TES and number 21 for KC. But we'll see what happens here today. It's really about today's form that I'm more curious about.
Yeah, numbers aren't everything. I do want to mention too something Crisp just did. So TES, they kept vision of the Skarner, but with Kanavi just going up to Raptors and having vision of him. And Chris used his Trinket ward to defensively ward behind red, and then swapped over to the sweeper down here too for himself. So we'll see as far as how heavy this early lane trading goes, but both junglers are starting top side and heading down here. So both supports having their sweepers ready for those possible jungle ganks if they do get really heavy trading.
Yeah. You see JackeyLove here stepping up. He's certainly a guy that knows how to utilize the Kalista, and what better than to do it into Caliste. Level 2 should be hit here first, though, from this bottom lane. I like what KC have done, and in terms of just trying to counter this, especially early on. Hit the level 2 first, have that harass going on, and just make things not as easy as they potentially would be otherwise for Top Esports' bottom lane.
Yeah, as Top Esports kind of demonstrated very similar strategy yesterday versus Team Liquid by giving them the Kalista and then going heavy range poke into them. Here we go, though. So the junglers have made it their ways down to the bottom side quadrants, but nobody's really like fully committed to this yet, so should just be full clears finished. And then Scuttle Crab priority assumed on the side of KC.
Yeah, that is what it is looking like at this point in time. See, JackeyLove just 3 CS behind, so it's not a crazy lead that KC's bottom lane is getting, but just a little one. You know, making him feel it early on. See Creme up against Vladi. Creme does still have his TP. Vladi did go back and utilize it after picking up his tier, so going to try and get that stacking as early as possible. They know there's a ward in here, so Chris just going to sweep that one out and just try to get a lot of value down here on the bottom side. But Yike coming on in. This is this Scuttle fight you were mentioning, as there's the handshake, going to clap them two together as Kanavi does get away from the tether of the Karma. Just a lot of back and forth here. JackeyLove is going to get into the fight first, taking the 1v1 here against Caliste and just zoning him away. As now the Hawkshot does come in, and Caliste desperate to try to get in on this one, as Kanavi will be stunned into the wall. Do they have the damage to take him down, though, is the question. As in comes Vladi. Kanavi gets the reach up, and the double knockup comes in from Vladi. And there will be a couple on the board here for KC already. And there you go. Another shot into the wall. KC pick up 4 kills in the first fight.
And the Vladi diff, the mid roam. Valdez, Taliyah down into the river first. And the flash, he gets the seismic shove. And they get all of them. That is 4 kills for KC in the opener.
You know, this is exactly what I was talking about with Top Esports. They just do this sometimes. They will not back down from a fight, and sometimes it really comes back to bite them. And big credit to KC. I mean, Yike is everywhere right now. The stuns in the wall have been huge. The stun, the flash forward, Vladi picks up another one. As here comes Viego. Kanavi's like, well, I gotta get something out of this, and at least he does get the 1 kill into Vladi. But that's all they're gonna get right now.
Yeah, he's like had to put a stop to the hot streak there.
Yeah.
Does shut him down after seeing that flash used, but as you said, you know, Yike starts it off with a nice grab here into the wall, and Targa followed up with the leash. But it's because Vladi moved first from mid lane here, and that seismic shove, huge, right across the rocks for all of them. Then Creme had flashed in to try and finish up too, and Caliste barely surviving there. They didn't give anything away. huge victory in the early game for KC.
Yeah. See the coaches, I mean, it must be a relief to see an early game like this after what has been going on with KC. And they turn around and they get even more. They get this kill onto Creme. Of course, Vladi does go down, but you know, shut down over to Kanavi. We'll see if he can do something with that bit of extra gold. Bit of a 2v2 down on the bottom side, though. Caliste is going to get quite low himself. Targamas looking for a little bit more. The empowered Q does come in. The Mancher Q. Just a bit of poke down. But yeah, here comes Yike. And Yike, level 5. We're going to go through the wall here. JackeyLove incredibly low as they try to move forward and take the fight once again. They want the reset here on Jack, and he will be able to pick it up. Can he get a second one? Not going to happen this time. The flash from Chris. At least he gets the 1 kill. And Yike, well, he's able to set up the gank at least.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Yike ganks bottom, but they lose 2, and they're losing Void Grubs while this happens.
Yeah.
TES.
Well, nice little knock up here on Chris, but it's not really, I mean, he's got his wall, so he could look to dive this one, but doesn't know exactly where the Kalista is. If he's timing this correctly, he should know that Jackie should be back very soon, so Vladi smartly not going to overcommit to this one.
Dude, that was just clean stuff from TES bottom lane in the 2v3. Jackie flashing for it, gets his bailout, then Chris flashing to finish the other one off, and as I said, the Void Grubs were picked up during that. On respawn, though, we do see the reset, and Yike takes away the dragon, so they do end up trading the objectives for themselves, no problem. And KC are still massively ahead.
The wall comes in. Jackie's in so much trouble again. And that one is going to go to Targamas, unfortunately, but they're just setting up more and more kills. And again, Top Esports not respecting them at this point in time. KC are making them pay.
Vladi came to play for sure. Vladi here is absolutely the star so far. Massive stuff from him again on Taliyah. Let's take another look at it. Oh, this is actually the beginning, the 2v3 here. So again, you know, showing your gank bottom, and then since TES bottom lane both have flashes, Jackie's like, I'm going for it. I can get the Ren reset. He almost gets Caliste. It isn't the end of the world that he doesn't, because Chris has flash, and so he can invest it there. And so they do get the 2-for-1. But then Vladi's like, you know what? We're not letting him get away with it. He goes in again. Targamas, of course, doing his part here with the setup as well. But you have to think it's going to be a really, really big one for him and for KC.
Yeah. The celebratory gulp of water. Got to stay hydrated.
Classic.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really good setup. He should be proud. I mean, he's done so much. He made the first fight go to the side of KC. And the Taliyah last pick is fantastic into what they have. I mean, you just throw rocks down, and nobody can dash. The Kalista not going to have a fun time. The Viego, the Aurora, potentially. It's just a great pick, a great R5 counter to a lot of what this team has to offer for Top Esports. And the fact that he's already quite fed might become a big problem for Top Esports in this game.
Yeah, certainly will be. Kanavi here on the Viego, once again trying to create some space here around mid. They take away both of the control wards here preemptively, but even the shallow vision, they're not going to go for anything more on that play.
Yeah, not quite going to happen. We haven't looked too much at the top lane just because there has been so much action down bot. But you can see that Canna is ahead by 300 gold. So he's got that CS lead. And 369 decided, okay, I'm going to blind pick the Ambessa. I'm going to allow the rest of my team to get what they want a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But he does pay the price for it. But let's see if 369 can make Canna pay for it. As nope, the ward is going to spot the roam coming up. As now Targamas, he might be the one to pay. As the handshake does come in, the stun into JackeyLove is not going to be enough. Yike does show his face, but not on time. But yeah, trying to get a ward in that brush. You don't know if they're there. You will pay for that one.
Yeah, TS with their comp here, they want to constantly scrap because they have a little bit funky of a comp. Need to get some earlier gold, and they do just that with another bot side play. JackeyLove here on the Kalista with the majority of them, but you were just checking in on Kanna's gold. He continues to farm away up here. More turret play money for him as well. And we'll see how the side lanes do end up going, because again, this TS comp is just really short range and relies on those ultimates to go for the full engages, you know, the Aurora and the Ambessa. But they're not able to, you know, get these kind of explosive fights and explosive engages for them. KC have a lot more ways. Well, wait a second here. We've got the reset.
Yeah, kind of just jumped into that one. To the skies he goes, and well, to the ground he will go as well. Pretty easy setup on that gank, as he thought he was safe. The rest of his team was in the river. Wasn't meant to be.
They've got teleport on Aurora too, so TS could have numbers advantage. They teleport Aurora in.
They're going to teleport her in. You can see that KC, that they get the one grub and they get out, so at least they get one, but it's just the one. So not quite that many stacked up for them. It will be 5 for the side of TES in this game. Yeah,
it was a really good rotation for TES. Trying to play off that Ambessa ultimate, and 369 nailed it there. So very, oh, Kanavi's getting so deep. He does dodge the shove.
It's a bait all along, maybe? He's gonna get away, but that was extremely dangerous. You saw the Ashe arrow coming up. You saw the Karma, the Skarner nearby. And now Creme in a bit of trouble himself. He is going to take the aggro. He's taking a bunch of rocks to the face. That was another bonus rock from Yike, but it's not going to land, as the Aurora can be quite slippery. Here comes a wall. Chris was in the brush. He is going to have to flash away from that one after the handshake just to make sure he stays alive.
Yeah, good disengage from him, and necessary disengage as well, with the counterplay coming through, trying to make the trailing play there. Yeah, Kanavi was getting really dicey with it. You know, I was also sweating right along there with you. In the end, it ends up being flash for flash, and you know, he had his Trinity Force, and he wants to play off some Trinity Force spike damage, but now without the flash, the kind of like dream plays and trying to get that reset might be a little bit more dangerous because the dragon is up, and so you got to get your resets off pretty quickly here. It is a little desynced on the resets for TES because JackeyLove's reset was a little delayed here.
Yeah.
So it does, they're gonna have to mess around and like try and delay or something to buy some more time. And honestly, it looks like they're gonna try and show here a little bit of threat and see how delayed they can make it.
Yeah, I mean, the threat is in. We'll see what this comes down to. Kanavi's not in range to smite that one as, oh, he pulls him into the wall right as Creme, and a massive impale comes down as well, but in goes 369 to that backline. Should be able to take out Caliste, but a couple of kills do go the way of KC. You see Canna and Yike, though, low on health. JackeyLove once more. He'll get the one, and Kanavi gets the other. So it will be top esports to actually get a punish at the end of that fight.
Yep, Jackie may have been a little bit later than everyone else, but he got there in the end, and TES with 4 kills for themselves, plus being able to push in mid and bottom, means Jackie's going to get turret plate money. 369 is going to get some turret plate money as well, and counter jungling. Of course, KC, they were able to finish off the dragon before Jackie does get there, but Creme is like, you know what, we're going to force it, we'll buy enough time, and it's the Renata ultimate that buys the most of it. Really nice there from Chris, right over the top, and it allowed 369 to get into the back, completely wreak havoc, and since Jackie finally did get there with his fresh purchase.
We got a fight in live, actually. The tether comes down. That's a shutdown going the way of Vladi. We saw that he got caught under the turret down in the bottom side. And that's the wrong guy to give that gold over to. Kanavi looking a little bit more like his day one form in this first game. He is really throwing caution to the wind, and Vladi will pick that up every single time.
Okay, yeah, Vladi definitely has been one of the big pieces of hope here for KC. As we get the reset afterwards, it's not like there's going to be a lot of territory taken or any real big objectives, but a nice little bit of gold there grabbed for him nonetheless. Again, like the gold leads are on a Viego and on a Kalista, so not like really good scaling champions, but are going to have massive, massive mid games here. And let's take another look at the origins of this play. Getting his chunk nice and early on it, chasing them out. And since Targamas, Targamas had come down the river, Vladi, I mean, Vladi just does so much work, but the arrow coming in and connecting, nice shot there. The sniper all the way from mid lane, Caliste.
Yeah, I mean, if that arrow wasn't there, he's probably alive. As the impale over the wall, that's going to be a big issue for Crisp, as Yike is having a big game tonight here on the Skarner.
Beautiful stuff. I mean, right over the wall, brings him back, and ends the ultimate right next to it, so you can immediately channel it into the E-stun against the wall. Very quick kill, and that allows them to move into jungle too. That's good.
The MasterCard lane economy snapshot. You can see that it's kind of all over the place. The jungle and AD carry, you mentioned, ahead for the side of top esports, but the mid very far ahead for KC. So certainly the guy you want to put your hope into. I think also Yike, you know, he's Skarner. He doesn't necessarily need that much gold to do what he does, and he has been hitting the slams on the walls. He's gotten some big impales already, so it is a big issue that the Viego is so fed, but also the fact that they have Skarner. He's a tank. He's going to be, you know, stunning people rather than needing a ton of gold. I think that's just fine.
Yeah, TS, since they are so skirmish heavy and Kanavi has Collector now, they really want to use it. They want to use that Collector, so he's immediately going to force. He's the one with the 2-item power spikes. He is the only one with the 2-item power spike in the game, and so he immediately goes out to Rift Herald. KC are actually coming on over to it at the moment, but a little bit slow there, so just kind of watching. And it's a little weird because that does just give up. Creme, you know, kind of free pushing over here towards tower, easily avoids any sort of counterplay there. So they got the Rift Herald, they got the wave pushed in as well, and Kanavi again, since he's on his big power spike here, looking very aggressively in through enemy territory. 369.
Yeah, just going for the 1v1 here. It's a very long lane down on the bottom side, and the chase potential is pretty huge. He dodges the ult, though. Very nicely done by Canna to get away from this one. Can he survive is still the question. We got a big impale down on the, well, up on the top side jungle as JackeyLove up against the wall. Tries to dash over it. It's not going to be enough. The shutdown goes to Yike. And Vladi still on the chase. Creme going to find an angle on the back line. At least Case takes down Caliste, but Creme in a bit of trouble himself as Yike is on the chase. He will have to go for the flash just to try to survive. And this might just be the longest chase of the tournament so far. Even a TP committed to just to make sure he absolutely goes down. As Vladi should be given the kill here at the very end if he can hit the Q. One more auto could do it as he goes to Miz, and yeah, Vladi does take down the kill. Meanwhile, Canna just taking another turret in the top lane.
Nice punish there from KC on that deep jungle invade where Kanavi and TES were looking so aggressively for their play. They actually teleported Canna out as well to get the tower afterwards. This is going pretty far back with this replay. You know, that was just the insta-kill basically on Chris, but here we go. This is how that ward behind red buff saw it, and Yike with the big grab. I guess we put together a little Skarner ulti highlight. That's what this was. This was the Skarner ulti highlight package.
The highlight reel that did come in. I mean, Skarner, he keeps getting nerfed. He keeps doing the same thing. Yes, his power is down a bit. He's not being prioritized as much for a reason, but he's still able to just CC 3 people forever.
And you highlight it. You know, even though he is down a bunch in gold, that's exactly what he's still able to do. You know, lock them in. And since Creme was not with them on that invade for TES on KC's ward, they were able to punish. TES, of course, still do have their 1,000 gold lead, and the tower on top side is so low that 369 is about to increase that gold lead for them, though.
Yeah. The gold certainly goes in their favor. I'm worried about the massively fed Viego and even the Kalista. Even though the scoreline isn't very pretty, still a lot of gold in JackeyLove's pockets. And, you know, the one thing for KC that they've got going on is they have 3 Drakes, right? And they're looking at a Mountain Soul on the next one if they can pick it up, which is going to be huge for their comp.
Yeah. And Jackie can play so aggressively because he has so many divers on his team, and he's got Crisp.
Yeah.
The Renata, the key there to it all, with the ultimate going over and the bailout. So he can play very aggressively, and he's also on his 2-item power spikes. So see what kind of chase down.
Vladi in a bit of trouble. Oh, the Ambessa over the wall. Couldn't see that one coming, and that is a shutdown for 369. So now you don't only have the jungle and the AD carry ahead, you've got also the top laner now ahead for the side of top esports.
Yeah, all Kanavi had to do, get that stun so that you can lock him in place for the Ambessa ultimate. 369 comes over the top, and they have fully taken over this top side jungle. It's been turned into a bit of a death trap as it's gone completely dark for the side of KC, and they're going to fully rotate up to this tower.
Yeah, I mean, the arrow's going to hit, but the follow-up, will it be there? Yike, he could have gone for the Impale, but he decided against it. Just said, well, not worth it. I think, you know, with the arrow coming in, could have just taken the free Renata kill, but not going to go for it himself. And, yeah, I mean, Canna wasn't there. He didn't have TP, so I like the pressure that comes in from top esports to try to chip away at that turret.
There it is, the wards, the death trap. Vladi was on full vision walking over, so Kanavi and 369, they make the call, hey, just on this corner, I'll be able to hit the stun. Doesn't even matter if he's got rocks or anything, as long as he follows up. Nice pick, nice kill there for TES, which of course they were able to turn into a lot of even deeper vision.
Yeah, the deep vision, the control of the macro state of the game is going to be huge. You can see that 369, Kanavi, and Creme all ahead on XP. Kanavi just kind of running into the darkness as the Death Brush comes in. KC going to get big win off of that one. JackeyLove trying to hop away. He's got the bailout. He has to go forward. But now we've even got the Impale coming in. That's a 3rd kill for the side of KC. 369 and Creme just running away. And it's a triple for Canna. As we have the ult coming in and the flash forward, but that is Aurora, so she just hops away.
Yeah, and you don't want to overchase because the Otacon is up right now on the bottom side. Yeah, immediately go for that. What a huge, huge timer there for KC. On Fog of War, in the side brush by mid lane, surprise kill Kanavi, the fed jungler, and they chain it into not 1, but 2 objectives. Huge play here for KC. This completely changes the game because they are going to scale quite nicely with all this extra experience from the flowers and stats from the flowers afterwards too. And Kanavi right into it. Yike again on the Skarner. He's able to get the stun into the wall. Then they're able to chain it through. They get everything out of Jackie, and then they're still able to get the kill on him afterwards. And Yike did a nice job there going for Crisp, since they knew they had the kill onto Jackie already. He's able to pull him in for the triple for Canna. It's just like, you almost get this feeling, even though this game is not, you know, out of reach or anything for TES, but it's probably a very feels good for Canna, you know, to have so many good games so far at the tournament. Yeah. For this one to actually turn into something meaningful here, and you know he gets a triple off that, and the Jayce will see what he can do this time around, because KC now for this next dragon spawn, they again should be the ones with the vision priority here through River, the ones who are able to set up first, and if they can avoid the flank from TES, should be able to set themselves up for a pretty nice standard fight. They've got some nice poke damage, some range available to them with the Jayce, with the Karma.
Yeah, you can see Karmine Corp trying to set up there in the river. Canna was top without TP, so Top Esports took that moment to just push in and take control of this bottom river.
Okay, TES. Honestly, really nice move from them. As you said, they instantly just deleted all that vision. Yeah. No, the other ones with the press control. And if you're coming in, Creme already looking.
He's looking, but not going to hit anything. The Karma able to help at least mitigate some of that damage. Handshake also there, but Top Esports not really in position to follow up on that. So now Top Esports is going to go for the Dragon. Okay. Everybody dodges that arrow. In comes the wall as well. Top Esports just abandoning ship for now. They said, well, a lot of ults used from the side. It's now the flash forward. Yike! He gets the pick on the Creme! It's a free Aurora! Just like that, and it should be the Mountain Soul unless Kanavi gets the steal down. It's not going to be easy for him. Not up against the Skarner. It's a 5v4 as well. JackeyLove just took a massive hit to the face with the shock blast. 369, he's just going in. He's just going to send it and make some space for JackeyLove. In goes the Ambessa. Canna on the flank is massive. Going to take down that backline as well. Kanavi, he wants one itty bitty reset, but he's not going to get it. And even Crisp is on the run as well. This is a full ace to the side of KC plus the Mountain Soul. They might finally do it here.
Welcome to first stand, KC. Huge now. They get the full ace. They get the Dragon. TES, they still engaged on this. Here is the great pick you're talking about for Yike. Such a big comeback game for Yike on this Skarner, by the way, but getting that pick. So TES must have said, hey, since Yike used ultimate there, they feel confident still fighting it, but they go right in, and Vladi immediately putting those stones down. Really good counter engage from them, even though Chris then goes in to follow up with the Renata ult. Too much damage has been done, and Canna is able to just wipe them. Kanavi can't get away. It's the double for Canna here again, and Calista is able to get the chase down too, so KC reaping the rewards here. Now with a completely open map to them, and Baron arriving. They're the ones with full priority now already pinging on the side lanes here for 369.
I mean, this is what happens when you get really desperate and you don't want to give over Mountain Soul. Like, TES have had no Dragon control this entire game, and they were put up against the wall. They lost Creme, and they said, well, we have to try to send it 4v5. And that is the outcome, right? You throw in the Ambessa, you give him the bailout, and Jackie had already taken so much damage that you have no bailout for him, and Canna just one-shots him. So, no follow-up. KC pretty far ahead at this point, you could say, with the Mountain Soul. It's not going to show in the goal difference, even though it has been a very close game, as they try to set up the Death Brush once again. Caliste going to give the thumbs up to Kanavi, who this time is going to dodge it. But yeah, KC just trying to hold on to control. There's the arrow, there's the wall. He's going to cast Crisp up against it. As the knockup, not the right way. Yike not going to land his own impale. Now he's being kited out just a little bit. Creme, though, doesn't quite have the damage. Not even able to get through the Mountain Soul shield. And the Volley gets the kill after all of that. And Creme is dead again.
Yep, Creme's dead again. And KC look like they're getting another objective here. That's going to be the Baron on top of their mount. Wait, Kanavi's going?
He's going in. The seismic shove not going to hit, though. TP also utilizes a lot of damage not being put into the Baron, but they're just trying to escort Kanavi away from it.
45 again?
Might just work out. The Ambessa ult not going to hit, as Vladi does have to flash that one. In goes 369, though. He wants a bit more. The turn off the Baron. They already got the Baron. did KC, and JackeyLove's gonna go down. The bailout not there, and Caliste is unstoppable. Yes, Caliste will go down, but it doesn't quite matter. KC are too far ahead.
They certainly are. TES know they are in deep trouble, so they just send it anyways, right into the grinder. KC, here's another look at what started out the pick. You said it, like they only got through the Mountain Soul on Vladi, barely. You know, Garbage Shield's going up too, and Creme's like, well, I think I've made a dire error over the edge. Caliste chases him down, they get the kill, and it's another position where, yeah, it's a 45, but TS and 369 are like, well, we're cooked either way. This game is already out of our hands. We're gonna get outscaled. Plus they already have Mountain Soul. Like, we are like a damage-heavy, short-range comp, and no more chances for them. So KC, they slam it down and look like they're heading for a victory here at first stand.
Yeah. Won't be their first game victory. They did get one of those against TL. But as you mentioned, this really feels like the first time they've showed up in a big way up against a very strong team in top esports, and they're staking their claim on this tournament. You know, this can be a bit of a rough format if you start off very slowly, because if you drop a couple of games, you might just be team number 5, right? Here comes the arrow that will be dodged nicely by Crisp. But yeah, it's nice to have KC finally here in the tournament.
Certainly looks like it. And Canna pushing away on bottom side, but they get hit.
Not number 7. Oh, no, it's number 7. There he goes once again. That kill's going to be given over to Caliste. As Creme now 1 and 7. Canna just split pushing. He's got Baron, and the pressure is just too much. More than 6,000 gold to lead for Karmine Corp.
All that's left is to close the siege. They've got 4-1 split push. They're already inside. Mid tower's going down. TES grasping at Canna.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to try. They might just be able to. This Ambessa pretty fed, and they do take him down. JackeyLove gets the shutdown. And look at Caliste. He's just in the base, hitting the Nexus turrets, giving them thumbs up. The rest of the team is just zoned away from him as he takes away their base. JackeyLove gonna pull in Crisp, but who cares about that? They're just killing your Nexus as this is happening. 369 wants to try to stop them, but the knockup is huge. And the Ambessa, will he get a reset? Yes, he will. Uh-oh, KC, you gotta get out of there now. As the reset comes in for 369, and the chase is on. Vladi will get JackeyLove, actually, but he's not going to get all too much more. Gets a double kill, which is more than you could say for the position he was put in for that one.
Okay. Looks like it's going to stop at just that. But the action here, all the respawns, by the way, should be done for the Elder Dragon, I believe, as we go into the replay to take another look. But another big pick. And that one turned into another play where TS are like, you know, I mean, we can't fight the other group, so we have to full send on Canna. And they do get the kill over here, even being separated out on the other side as we kind of jump forward here. Caliste running toward those Nexus turrets, but they just make it scrappy and continue to try and fight their way out of this situation. Since KC are going for Nexus, they just full send. JackeyLove put about 10,000 spears into Yike as they chase forward. So getting the kill onto the front line there as they got their respawns in, kind of just synced up the timing nicely for TES to get their defense here at the last moment.
C369 dashing in onto the Taliyah. Generally not a good thing to do. Gets punished for it. And yeah, the Elder Drake. We'll see if they actually started it up, but they're in the bush, and another one comes in as the resurrect on the GA. Can they get the follow-up kill? The ult, the Heartbreaker used by Kanavi just to survive. But can they even challenge the Elder Drake is the real question.
Well, I think they're certainly going to try because they have full send on every other fight, and all they can do is just send again. Kanavi and Creme both on the flank this time around instead of just single one like last time.
The wall, pretty good. Gonna push those other guys out of this one. The damage is big, and Kanavi's zoned away. They don't have a smite. It's Elder Dragon to Karmine Corp, and now 369 is on the run. Well, he has to go in. He can't quite get out. Can't take down Caliste. And now only a couple of guys on the run. Creme as well being zoned away by Canna as he has to go in, but that's not the right direction. Takes his 8th death in this one. And in goes Yike as well. The chase potential of the Skarner is huge. They want to take down Jackie. The flash comes in. They already killed Crisp, and that is going to do it. The ace is there for Karmine Corp, and they will get their first win here up against Top Esports.
And a big one here in game number 1. Starting the momentum for themselves, KC. Remember the beginning of the game as well. With the roam down from mid lane from Vladi, really big start to them, got themselves off on a nice footing. Then TES actually did a good job fighting back into this one, but in the end, really nicely executed and securing the Dragon Soul for KC.
It's a massive first victory here in game number 1 for Karmine Corp. We're going to take a break, and we will have the guys to break down that first game. We'll be right back.